All right, guys, you're tuned in to another episode of On Cue. On today's episode, we have Lojay, the sweet voice Lojay, all the way from Nigeria, but he's joining us via Zoom. I mean, technology has made it possible for all of these things to happen. I'm very excited that he's joining us. So, hi, Lojay.
How you feeling?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, man. How you feeling now? You all right?
Yes. I'm fine.
What's your day looking like?
My day is looking like work, and then I'll just go home and sleep. That's how my day is looking like. How about yours? What have you been up to today? What's a typical day in your life?
Wake up. I've not been as consistent with the gym, so the gym isn't really a part of my daily routine anymore. But just wake up and shower. I like to take a hot shower, fresh shower, just like renew me for the day first. And then depends on if I have like interviews or anything that basically takes me out the house. If I do, I handle those responsibilities first and then run back to the studio. I have a studio in my house, so
it makes it easier.
I'm working from here.
It makes it easier.
Yeah. But if I don't necessarily have to be out the house, then it's just wake up and go straight to the studio.
Okay.
I spend a lot of time in the studio.
As it should be. I mean, for the caliber of artist that you are, it's only right that you spend so much time in the studio. We'll come back to the studio conversation, but also let's look at when you realize that this is your calling, when you realize that you could sing, when you realize that you can actually make a living out of the talent that God has given you.
I mean, I'll say I made that decision to be an artist, I would say like 2016. That was when I was like, okay, yeah, I have made my decision and I'm going to like act on it type shit. But outside that, for me, it was just fun. It was just like, I just really enjoyed music. I just really enjoyed sonics in general. It doesn't even have to be music per se. But then 2016, I was thinking about, okay, I'm about to leave uni. What are you going to do once you leave uni and everything? And so I just decided, you know what? Like all I know how to do, all I enjoy doing, all I can see myself doing 24/7 is music. So I believe this is where I'm meant to be. Plus, around that time, music had already started to become a lot more profitable and eye-catching just for like Africans.
Right.
So it was kind of like the perfect timing as well.
Right. Perfect timing. Now, I understand, I hear you when you mention perfect timing, right? But in the time it took you to decide that you want to do music for real, what were your motivations? Who were some of the people that inspired you to do music?
I mean, as at that time, there was a host of like Nigerian artists that were like popping off, coming out, like taking the music to the global space. I know Wizkid was a very big influence. Davido was a very big influence. Burna Boy was also an influence, was a big influence. Tiwa Savage has been doing her thing for the longest. Even outside Nigeria, just listening to people like John Bellion, who was making all of that music and touring around the world independently. That just caught my attention as well because it just made me know that, okay, yeah, I don't necessarily even need to tie myself to anybody to make this work.
Right.
And now, I mean, I'm an independent artist now, and I basically just follow that same trajectory in a way. But yeah, there's been a whole host of influences for different reasons.
Having all of these influences and now being an independent artist, how is that for you, especially with financials and having to spend the money you are making on from music? First, you're spending the money you're making from music back on the music. And how has that been for you? Is that pushing you in any way to want to sign onto a label? Is that pushing you from being an independent artist?
I mean, the thing about label versus independent, to be honest, it's more. I mean, it does depend on who it is and whoever is actually like working on it, or who is actually trying to get signed or not. But for me, I think I chose to be independent because I picked long-term success and financial success over like short-term financial success, because I feel like if you sign I personally just felt like if you sign for a label, yeah, you get like different like perks and stuff, like performances, all of that. But one, your entire career literally is tied to this label. Two, they decide, especially if you sign very early, they decide a lot of your career trajectory. But when you're independent, you have the freedom to make your decisions. You have the freedom to build something out of your music that is even bigger than yourself. Because by the grace of God, when I'm done with this, the structure that we have created with Kuratory, which is my company, mine and my manager's company, the structure that we are creating with Kuratory is the structure that we can use for the next generation of African musicians, which is like very, very key, so important.
Okay. Now, you mentioned some perks of being on a label, right? Don't you think that being an individual artist, you are missing out on those perks, you know?
Sorry?
I was asking, you mentioned some perks, some advantages of being on a label, right? Them having to put you in certain rooms, mention your name at certain places, open doors to certain places that, you know, individual artists may not be open to, right? So I was asking, don't you think being an individual artist just sort of stifles you?
I mean, personally, that's why I said it really depends on who. But personally, it hasn't stifled me, especially because I've been able to achieve some things as an independent artist that have opened doors for me that even some signed artists have not been able to like unlock. Things like just like the feature with Chris Brown, Monalisa itself, Love and Attention EP, now the Gangster Romantic EP.
Yeah.
Being able to push all of this music like independently and being able to do all of these things independently. There's still a lot more music that's coming out for the rest of the year, a lot more features. It kind of just has given me a leverage, which doesn't mean that like it doesn't mean that like the labels are still not coming or that I would never sign in my life. I'm not a believer in saying never to anything.
Right, you're not totally writing it off.
Yeah, I'm not. It depends on what I need to do.
Okay.
So I'll never just say never to anything, because anything can happen in the next 5 years. The entire industry system can change, and being signed might be the better option. So anything can change. But I also just know I know what I want to do with my music. I also know that the conversations with every year that I've stayed independent, the conversations, I have more leverage in each conversation that I'm having. Right now, luckily, at the stage I'm at, I have been able, me and my team have been able to pull off everything we need to pull off independently. Even when like the distribution companies or like the labels that we've worked with haven't been able to pull them off, we've been able to pull them off ourselves without the help of the label, or without the help of any distribution company or anything. So
right.
I think it's just a thing of hard work. It's about having a good team. It's about having a good direction, and just everything coming together.
So hard work, having a good team, a good direction, and everything coming together. The total body of work, Gangster Romantic, is what I want us to talk about now, right? What went into that? What was your inspiration for Gangster Romantic?
I mean, for me, just in general, life has kind of like shifted in the last 12 months, 12 to 18 months, like life has really like taken a different turn. And I have changed a lot. I have found myself in so many ways, and I wanted a project that kind of like reflected where I was emotionally,
Right.
with respect to where I am now.
Right.
Basically, just as a person.
Now listening,
and that's what Sorry.
Okay, you go.
That's basically what Gangster Romantic is.
Okay.
That's what it represents, basically.
You literally just took my next question out of my mouth, because listening to Gangster Romantic, it brings out the topic of love and all of its intricacies, you know, toxicity, not wanting to do love anymore, all of that. What exactly was your mental space? I know that you've mentioned emotions, right? But what exactly was your mental space? Because the total body of work, it just speaks to the same theme, if I should say.
I mean, the beauty about Gangster Romantic is more about like the detail of the topics, like you kind of express. Like I think when I was making the project, I really put it in my mind that I really wanted something that would almost in a way expose me. I wanted to like be vulnerable. I wanted to be I wanted to be very, very expressive. I literally wasn't making the project because I wanted hits out. I feel like people are already dropping all of that. I just needed something that people could listen to and connect with, and like feel like they are part of that particular body of work, basically.
Right. So
I believe that's what Gangster Romantic.
If I'm understanding you, it just goes to say that Gangster Romantic is about your life. Is it? Or is it fictitious?
Yeah, it is about my life. It's about my new stance on like on just love and emotions and relationship. And it's not a thing of, and like, for example, when people like see the Gangster Romantic, I guess initially the first thought is, oh, this guy has been a bad guy or something. Who's been a it's more like acceptance. It's more like, like, look, I love you, I care about you, I think you're amazing. But if today you decide that like I'm not what you want, or you want to go somewhere else, then cool, that's fine. Move on. I'll move on. Like, it's no longer like the oh, please, you must stay with me, you have to love me, I need your love and attention. Not the head over heels. Lojay. Like, it's a different Lojay.
It's a different Lojay.
It's a Lojay that knows himself better and is more in tune with himself.
Right. That speaks to me that you just want your audience and your listeners and your lovers to take out one particular thing from this Gangster Romantic, right? What is that for you that you want anyone who listens to it to take away?
Connection.
Okay.
And I feel it in the tweets. I feel it in the posts. I feel it in the shows. That has kind of been the outcome, and that was all I had been waiting for. I just wanted to be able to connect to my fans and like be able to just create a space where we can all sit down together and be like, we are all talking to ourselves. It's like a therapy session for all of us,
for everybody.
And yeah, and every time I've performed Gangster Romantic to a group of people, I realized that there's a lot of like, as much as like there's screams and everything, there's people like genuinely singing these songs like from the depth of their hearts because they genuinely relate. It's not just Lojay. It's more like, this song I want to sing, like, and people actually want to like say these things to themselves, and that's a very different feeling.
Right.
Like, even just yesterday, I was at a show in Lagos, and like I think the only song of Gangster Romantic I got to perform was Moto.
Okay.
But just the reaction from the crowd, like everyone just singing with their hearts, like just word for word, just it was surreal.
Right, right. Now you said that this is a different Lojay, right? What have you done special with this Gangster Romantic that you hadn't done with all of your other songs or EPs? What's that difference with this one?
I mean, for one, this is my first solo project. This is like the first this is my first EP that would basically be just me on it, and I feel like more than anything, I really wanted this project to be about like me sonically.
Right.
I didn't want any type of production that would like overshadow like the message I was trying to pass across or anything. I kept the instrumentals quite simple. Compared relative to what it could have been. I left all of it quite simple. And I wanted my writing to stand out. I wanted my singing, my vocals to stand out. And I think more than anything they did. I personally feel like there's been an improvement in every aspect of me as an artist in this project.
You
just
mentioned,
like my writing, my vocal. I'm listening.
You mentioned messaging and writing. Do you write all of your songs yourself, or do you employ the services of other songwriters, or is it a collaborative work between you, the artist, and other songwriters? And what is your
writing all my
style?
songs myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'll say I write them myself. I don't do a lot of like pen and paper writing. I don't know. I just don't know how to flesh out my thoughts like that. I don't know.
Okay.
But I write all the songs myself. I record them myself. Like Moto, for example, I produced it myself. I'm in a way like a one man musical band.
That's all. That's a 360, right? But you mentioned Moto a few times, which is off this album as well. Do you have a special song? Do you have a favorite off of this? Is there that one song that you can just pick out off the album and say this is an absolute favorite?
I actually don't, because all of these songs like mean something. Like whenever I'm listening to Yahweh, I'm in a different space from when I'm listening to Leader. Okay. I'm also in a very different space from when I'm listening to If You Down. Okay. It's also a very different space when I'm listening to Available, or when I'm listening to Canada, when I'm listening to Over or Moto. Like all the songs just bring a different mood, because I guess more than anything, I'm not just listening to it sonically. I am reminiscing on the stories that have inspired like these songs.
Now,
so it's like, for me, it's deeper than just, oh, this is my favorite song, or this one is my favorite song. Right. It's more like oh, this is the energy I'm feeling right now, and this is what best connects to that energy.
Right. You mentioned Available, right? I noticed particularly how you wrote that with a U rather than an LE. Is that local parlance?
Yeah. Honestly, I just know that like I had the word available. I feel like I'd heard it before. Like I've seen it before. I've heard it before. Right. I didn't want mine to look like every other person's own, so I just decided to switch it up and make it sound different, make it look different.
Okay, because on first sight, you can just tell that this is a typical Naija accent. Like I can just look at Available, and instead of saying available, if I say available, I know that, okay, this is a Nigerian accent thing. But yeah, you released visuals to Moto and Leader off of this body of work, Gangster Romantic. Are we expecting other visuals from any of your other songs, visuals to any of the other songs on Gangster Romantic?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we've shot some already, and some are about to be shot, but definitely more visuals.
Okay. We are wait. Patiently waiting on that. Right now, you did mention that this,
interesting.
Gangster Romantic is about your life, right? How is your life like? Would you want to share that with us? How love is for you? Because I understand when you say that you've moved away from the Lojay who will beg or seek attention or love to the Lojay who doesn't really care if you stay or not.
Right now, I feel like I'm more in love with myself than I've ever been. I'm more in love with myself than ever before. I feel like you need to go through that for you to even love someone else.
Okay.
I'm understanding myself. I'm forgiving myself. I'm accepting myself more daily. So I wouldn't say I am in the headspace of love per se. But I'm also very open. Like, it's not like I'm not closing my heart and saying never, I'm not going to love. I'm just like, let's just see how life goes. And I'm enjoying my life.
You're enjoying it, eh?
Yeah, I'm focused. My mind is fully on the money. My mind is fully on the music. It's my fans give me all the love I need right now. I can't even lie.
Wow, I see. Must be nice. Must be really nice. But share your thoughts with me.
I mean, I personally, I honestly actually have I actually have very, very amazing fans. I don't know how. I don't know what it is about how we've just filtered ourselves out and connected with each other. But I have amazing fans that they generally go all out just for me.
That's great.
Like, even sometimes I just be on Twitter and I'm just seeing tweets and I'm just like, wow.
That's really great. Now, what the question I was asking before was you telling us. I want to know how Nigeria's music space or the music scene is like in Nigeria.
I mean, it's bubbling as usual. It's always been a hot spot since the inception of Afrobeat. Like, Lagos has always been like a hot spot for Afrobeat. And right now there's so much going on. There's so many sounds, there's so many artists. The bar is being shifted every single day. It's fun, it's interesting. I personally love it. I love the music. I love the life of the music. I love the
lifestyle that
unpredictability
comes
of everything.
with it.
I find it very interesting. Yeah, I find it very interesting. And especially now navigating these waters in as an independent artist, it makes it a lot more interesting for me personally.
Right.
Because when you do it independently, you kind of have to be on ground. You have to really put your feet on the ground and talk to the radio guys and talk to the TV guys and talk to everybody and have a relationship, no matter how small, with everybody. And so to me, it's like being in school and you're just walking into school and every day you just see the student and that student and that teacher and that teacher and this person, and it's just a whole world, and we all know ourselves, but we don't all know ourselves
at the same time.
We see ourselves outside of school. Yeah, we see ourselves outside of school, and we're all like, "Hi, what's up?" But might be in school and be acting weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, still talking about Nigeria's music space, right? We've been told stories, or we've heard stories of how people invest heavily in promoting the music. How does that play out for you? Do you just release the music and see it fly, or want to see it fly, or is there heavy promotion in relation to financials still?
I mean, music now is more expensive than ever, which is actually normal. I would say it's not outside the norm that people are spending so much money right now in the music scene, especially because we're trying to take it global and make it something that is digestible by every part of the world. So we have to actually raise the standard to a level where the global market can appreciate it as much as they would appreciate whatever they're already used to.
Yeah.
So in that sense, yes, I can understand that. Like you need more money to first of all cover the whole of Nigeria, then the rest of Africa or the rest of West Africa,
then the rest of
then
the world,
rest of Africa, then the rest of the world, which just the budget for America alone can be God knows what. Then another budget for Europe, which could be God knows what. Then another budget for like Asia, Australia, which is another madness. Then there's the whole South American space. Like,
so that's just to say it's crazy expensive.
A lot more expensive.
Yeah, it's crazy expensive. But how? I was saying that's
let's
just say it's crazy expensive. Exactly. But with your song Monalisa, I mean that song broke the internet. That song introduced Lojay to a larger number of people, if I should say. Would you share with me how much you spent in promoting Monalisa?
Not a lot, actually.
Tell me how much exactly, or even if not the exact amount, just like an estimate.
I would say it cost around as much. The entire project cost around as much as Moto video.
Okay, that means the Moto video is expensive then.
I
mean, if you're making that comparison,
it's under. I shouldn't be saying this. I don't know if I should say this.
Try just.
I hope I'm not going to be breaking any rules.
Just tell me. That's why I said an estimate. If it's not even the exact amount of money you spent.
It was actually quite low for especially for everything that like the project ended up doing. It was actually quite low. A lot of the money that we like, for example, like to shoot Monalisa video, I was doing shows back to back just to get like the funding just to like shoot that video.
To finance that.
Yeah, like you get so like as an independent artist, there's a lot that you go through. There's the distribution fee, which was relatively low. It was around the price of like maybe leader video or Moto video.
Yeah, Lojay, you just keep saying around the price of. I see how you're trying as much as possible not to mention figures. I see how you're doing that. But anyway, it's fine because it's not everybody.
It's an estimate. It's a good estimate. I'll give you like a large estimate.
Okay. Just give me a large estimate.
It was 5 figures, but on the lower side.
But on the lower side of 5 figures. We'll take that. But is this in Naira, on dollars, or in pounds, or in euros?
Oh no, you're not doing anything with 5 figures Naira.
Okay, so 5 figures dollars. 5 figures dollars?
Yeah.
That's like millions of Naira
but
then,
like
okay. I can wrap my mind around that.
Very early 5 figures.
Very early 5 figures. I can wrap my mind around that. Now, you did make mention of working on more music. Are you looking at some international features that you want to share? Notable international features.
We have some. See, this year we have some very, very amazing international features. I'm spending a lot of time outside Nigeria, especially starting from May. I started tour a world tour that literally goes all the way to October.
Okay. Have you named your
just
tour
because of how crazy everything has been. Yeah.
What's it called? Have you named your tour yet?
Yes, we've actually not. Like there's a working name, but that's not like the name for.
What's the working name?
Huh?
What's the working name?
You really like juice.
I like juice. Yes. Juice is good for the soul.
Yeah. You like Yeah, you like the secret details.
I'm waiting to hear it, Lojay. The working name. I mean,
I will. I can't. I mean, there's a working name. Working name is Lojay Tour, but that's not what I'm going to call the tour.
Okay. Okay. All right, guys, this has been On Cue with Lojay. Now, I wish I could get more from him, but I mean, we could all tell he's really keeping all the information until he's ready to divulge it, which we await, okay, patiently waiting on that. I hope you enjoyed On Cue today. My name, Lerny Lomotey. Enjoy the rest of our programming, and I'll catch you when I catch you. Bye.